Hello, this is Ion Pod, a program designed to bring the port's activities closer to you and you also closer to the port. It's proudly brought to you by West Blue Consulting, Goyle, and GCNet, media partner, as a proud business and financial ties. Folks, exactly a year ago, just about the same month, the month of March, in the year 2017, there was a very fierce race to have somebody steer the affairs of the Port Authority, and that race came to an end in the month of March. A letter dated somewhere in February by the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, appointed the man Paul Asare-Ansah to lead the affairs of the Port Authority. Now, prior to that, a couple of names popped up and people were wondering who becomes the man who sits in that hot seat. So, Ion Pod, we decided to find out what has been happening ever since Paul Asare-Ansah took over the mantle of leadership in the Port Authority. What has he been doing? What is he doing now? And what plans does he have going forward? Take a listen.
Exactly a year ago, the mantle of leadership landed on the resilient shoulders of Paul Asare-Ansah, then head of marketing and corporate affairs of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Though his choice by the president itself was one of the most widely accepted appointments in the country, the journey before his appointment was characterized by many speculations surrounding who finally sits on the Port Authority's hot seat.
We thank God that we have our own as the Director General. We pray for it, we hope for it, we discuss it, and at the end of the day, we have one of our own as our Director General. Let's give thanks to God for that.
The port community received his appointments with an unquestionable approval, and so were the expectations. Exactly 1 year since his appointment, we assess works done by Paul Asare-Ansah-led administration, what is being done, what we are likely to see done in his administration, and what the port community expects of him. Paul Asare-Ansah began his duties as the Acting Director General of GPHA by visiting some of the authority's key installations at the Takoradi Port. Here, he assured of improved infrastructure and staff well-being. He subjected most of the infrastructural and IT projects to review and terminated posts that he considered not in the interests of the authority. He mobilized stakeholders to think of how to repair the damaged new Takoradi Road and assured it will be fixed sooner, and indeed construction works on the new Takoradi Road is currently ongoing with constructed drainage systems.
This road is going to be the main access road to and from the port.
In Tema, he signed a sum of 13.3 million Ghana cedi to retool the Tema shipyard, whose equipment were generally obsolete. Hollands, as he's affectionately called by the workers, was appointed in the midst of high tension at the workers' front over mass promotions effected towards the end of 2016. He launched Operation Restore Calm to address the workers' grievances, taking the bull by the horn. He transferred about 35 managers and officers, promoted some staff, demoted others, dismissed those who had entered with fake documents, regularized the engagement of contract staff who had served well more than 5 years, and improved the take-home of the entire workforce. And indeed, calm was restored. He also settled ensuing impasse between the casual dock workers and their management over the non-payment of their social security contributions. Upon his appointment, he discovered that the shares of GPHA in the Meridian Port Services Port Expansion Agreement had been reduced from 30% to 15%, and the circumstances he considered unacceptable. With intervention from the Vice President, an interministerial committee has been established to review the agreement. In June 2017, the Paul Asare-Ansah-led administration mounted an intense crackdown on individuals and private companies who, without approval from the Port Authority, were building illegal ports along the shores of Ghana with serious national security implications. Paul Asare-Ansah ordered a shutdown of all such facilities and currently awaiting legal actions.
It cannot be allowed to happen.
Paul Asare-Ansah inaugurated a Port Infrastructure Development Fund Committee, which he hopes will come out with modalities to secure a common fund that will allow Ghana's ports to be financially independent to undertake infrastructural projects and minimize dependency on foreign funding. He also inaugurated Port Advisory Committee that will continually deliberate on improving Ghana's port operations and facilities. Paul Asare-Ansah advocates strongly for Ghanaian indigents to be involved in the construction of port infrastructure infrastructure. He therefore walked the talk by signing a contract with INTERCEPT, a Ghanaian company, to develop a multi-purpose terminal costing about $370 million at the Takoradi port. When the entire port was directed to have an automated clearance processes, which was commonly called a paperless system, Paul Asare-Ansah led GPHA to assure the nation of their readiness to comply and went ahead to prepare staff of the authority to embrace the change. He was one of the early persons to be spotted at the port on the 1st of September 2017, the commencement day of the paperless port clearance implementation, together with his lieutenant. Towards the end of 2017, Paul Asare-Ansah initiated a trade mission led by the board chairman of GPHA, Peter McMahon, to the landlocked country of Burkina Faso, which is a major client to Ghana's ports regarding transit trade, having served as GPHA's representatives to the transit countries for 4 years. Paul Asare-Ansah seeks to win the transit business in the sub-region for Ghana during his tenure, and so far, it appears his desires are becoming a reality as Ghana's ports recorded a threshold of 1 million TEU for the first time since 2009, when Ghana began implementing the ECOWAS axle load limits policy of 60 tons per truck. The transit growth was 21% higher than the previous year. This culminated in an impressive overall performance as cargo volumes hit 21 million tons from 19 million tons in 2016. Container traffic also increased by 7% at the close of 2017 over the 2016 volumes and set to hit the maturity mark of 1 million TEUs in 2018. Besides these, Paul Asare-Ansah is seeking to improve the well-being of staff of GPHA by replacing what he calls staff ghettos in Tema and Takoradi with new ultra-modern apartments. He has followed up with a presentation to the shop stewards and staff union executives with models of the proposed staff apartments. Towards the end of the year, he initiated steps to develop infrastructural facilities that would establish Ghana as a significant oil and gas hub in the sub-region. He also started work towards the building of a third port in Keta in the Volta region in accordance with the manifesto of the New Patriotic Party, to which he affiliates.
We are going to build a harbour.
That you have a harbour to come?
Yes, in Jamestown and Keta.
All these activities won him admiration from the staff union of the Port Authority, who decorated him with a native cloth to signify the approval of his administrative style and the vision he has for the Port Authority.
Paul Asare-Ansah.
Paul Asare-Ansah was also decorated by the Institute of Public Relations as the PR Personality of the Year in 2017 and was nominated as Significant Maritime Achiever of the Year at the Ghana Maritime and Shipping Awards. He was again nominated as the second most outstanding CEO within the public sector, among many others. And yet, he has been nominated for the Port and Maritime CEO of the Year in an upcoming event in April 2018. As he continues his duties in his second year, and this time not in the capacity as the Acting Director General, but a full-blown substantive Director General. Many industry players expect him to integrate issues such as tariffs charged by all actors in the ports, including the infamous miscellaneous fees. They also expect him to upgrade some infrastructure, such as the deplorable link road in front of the Golden Jubilee, TCT, Hull Blythe, and Savebond terminals.
More than 10 to 12 years, I may start to have.
Many will want to see the completion of the Takoradi multipurpose terminal by INTERCEPT, the first 100% local company to build and operate a container terminal in the sub-region. On the occasion of his 1 year in office, Iron Port wishes Mr. Paul Asare-Ansah, Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, very well and success in his endeavors.
In the next episode of Iron Port, we will be sitting down one-on-one with the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Paul Asare-Ansah, to find out a lot more about what he has under sleeves, what's yet to come, and what the people think about him. Coming up next, the Port Security Manager as well as the Marine Police team have arrested some individuals that are dealing in illegal sledge business around the shores. The Ghana Port Security, together with the Marine Police Patrol Unit in Tema, have intercepted an illegal exchange of fuel on the Ghanaian waters near the Tema port. While performing their routine inspections, the patrol team comprising of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Security and Marine Police came across 3 men offloading gallons of fuel reported to have been transported from the high seas for sale. According to the Port Security Manager of Tema Port, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Punamani, The natives connived with some ship owners to siphon sludge fuel into gallons and bring to shore for the local market. He said, firstly, the act is dangerous as it is prone to polluting Ghana's water bodies, and also such unauthorized, discreet methods of trade deprives the country of revenue.
They go in there, conniving with some of the ships on the high seas and collect the oil and the sludge into small boats and canoes and bring them offshore to go and sell. And by so doing, the government is losing revenue.
The security manager informed that there are existing licensing procedures that enable local companies to properly take receipt of sludge fuel, and advised that those interested in that business should go through that process of trading. He stated that the corporates would pay a fine to GPHA and be handed over to the police to face prosecution.
That they have paid that penalty, we will hand them over and the items to the police, and they will also conclude the investigation.
Detective Inspector Donko of the Marine Police Unit, Tema, said the supply vessel had already taken leave by the time they could contact her. However, the local corporate would go through court proceedings for the appropriate sanctioning to deter potential offenders. The joint security team, comprising the port security and the marine police, however, solicited support from stakeholders to play a role to combat such illegal activities and marine crimes on the Ghanaian waters, which includes illegal ship-to-ship bunkering, piracy, stowaway, and so on.
We are going to intensify the patrols at the beaches.
So the Port Authority says they are not leaving any stone unturned. So is the Ghana Police Service. They always patrolling the shores of Ghana. So some of those illegal activities, I can assure you, you will never undertake them and go unpunished. I'll return after the break.
Hello?
Good morning, this is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less. Bye.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Can't you right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here, in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window. The only way to Ghana's economic growth is in our hands.
When cleaning your vehicle by valeting, steaming, waxing, or polishing, make sure the engine is also sound. Servicing your vehicle with Gold Synthetic Oil and any quality Gold oil massages the engine, removes deposit, protects it from wear and tear for longer lasting performance, and makes your vehicle feel pampered. Made for diesel and super engines. Remember, after every 15,000 kilometers of enjoying your ride, service your engine with Gold Synthetic Oil.
We are a champion. That's why I, Azuma Nelson, 3 times world boxing champion and a patriot, always choose Goil.
Ashene Pankasa. Goil, good energy.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Eye on Port. And next up are news and activities around the port and maritime industry locally, and that includes a review of the paperless process system that began some 6 months ago. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, as well as the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority, began with a dialogue among the 2 institutions. Also, the head of immigrations and also the police department has visited the Port Authority to see how best they can collaborate to ensure effective practices around the port business. Management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the leadership of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority have held a review meeting to evaluate the paperless port clearance procedures whose implementation at Ghana's ports began some 6 months ago. The two institutions had come to the understanding that although the paperless port clearance processes had yielded tremendous impact in the last period of its implementation, especially in the areas of revenue generation and ease of doing business, the system had also not been without some technical difficulties. This is what motivated the Port Authority to have an initial dialogue with Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, a leading agency as far as port processes and operations are concerned. The preliminary dialogue is to raise some of the pertinent issues and identify possible remedies prior to meeting a bigger forum comprising other stakeholder agencies. The deliberation was centered on 10-point challenges raised by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority in the areas of 1. The correlation between CMRS and customs declaration. 2. One declaration cleared from 2 different terminals. 3. Short collection. 4. Premises examination. 5. Unmanifested cargoes or baggage. 6. Post entries after clearance. 7. First release and opening of containers or consolidation. 8. Empty container evacuation. 9. Partial delivery. 10. Transfer of containers by private CFS. The deliberations revealed a number of grey areas of difficulties that required further consultations by the two agencies separately and among other service providers in order to obtain lasting resolutions. Both the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the Commissioner of Customs were excited about the bilateral deliberations and promised to separately tackle the issues raised in their respective organizations.
It is my hope that we will follow through the roadmap we have identified to the conclusion so that we'll be able to address these challenges successfully and then come up with a flawless paperless system that will help us to achieve the maximum objective.
Even though we are going to take this into a bigger forum in the evaluation process, it's good that we are started here so that at least we come out with a concrete processes and procedures so that when we meet the larger forum, we'll be able to come out successfully.
The board chairman of GPHA, Peter McMenu, who walked through the meeting briefly, congratulated Customs and GPHA for exhibiting harmonization in the interest of the state.
Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Paul Asariansa, has charged personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service operating at the ports of Tema to contribute towards improving on the integrity of the port business environment. He said the port authorities are inundated with complaints from shipping lines who say agencies allowed to go into vessels to undertake various processes and documentations, extort food and other items from vessels in the name of protocol goods. Paul Asariansa made this known when Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, Kwame Suatichi, visited the Port Authority to strengthen the cordial relationship that exists between the two organizations.
Which the such practices were disturbing us a lot. So we would appeal to you as you're here to also take some collaborative efforts to minimize such incidences that go a long way to tarnish our image. We've spoken to Port Health about it. We spoke to Customs about it. Sometimes we feel compelled to put our security men on board to enforce some of these policy measures.
He charged state agencies who go on board vessels to eschew such unethical practices so as to create a friendly business environment for the port.
As the Burkina border is of very important, strategic importance to us, and for that matter, we constantly monitor what happens. You know the Malians normally pass through Bogotá, so through Hamlin, and then the Nigerians pass through Kulungugu, through Boko and Kulungugu. So if we could facilitate their movement, of course, without compromising on our safety and security. Yes.
Paul Ansa also sought the support of the Ghana Immigration Service to make Ghana's transit corridors smooth and devoid of harassment of drivers.
Every immigration officer, apart from being an officer, you need to comport yourself because you present Mother Ghana. international man, we say in quotes, so that whatever action you do has an effect on the organization, on the country, and other sister organizations, and so we want to talk to them.
The Ghana Immigration Service pledged their commitment to collaborate with other agencies to curb such unethical practices in the port's practices. The Tema Regional Police Command has met with management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to deliberate on issues of grave concerns as well as solicit assistance to transform the Ghana Police Service. The Assistant Commissioner of Police, ASP Benjamin Agojo, acknowledged GPHA for its support and kind gesture to the Ghana Police Service over the years. He said as part of their transformational agenda, it was necessary for the two entities to discuss how best they can work together to strengthen their relationship that would inure to the benefit of both parties. Speaking at the meeting, ASP Agojo told the Director General of GPHA, Paul Asariansa, and esteemed that the police is appreciative of all the support that has been offered by GPHA to boost policing in Ghana, including the donation of a patrol vehicle which was received by the current IGP and then Commissioner of Police in charge of Marine. Also, the regular rehabilitation of the Tema Regional Police Center as well as the Railways and Marine Police Station at the Port of Tema.
If it were not for you, we don't have regional police headquarters. We don't have where my brother is. Even their accommodation and everything are being provided by you. Simply because there are no monies voted seriously for police. And when they even vote the money for us, sometimes the money doesn't come. As part of the transformation, we want to tell our story. And we will not go to the media to tell our story. We want to come to corporate institutions like this to tell our story and to say that, look, security has become a collective responsibility. If you don't help, nobody else will help.
He, however, bemoaned that police service is struggling to meet the expectations of the general public because they are not empowered enough by way of modern and reliable equipment to operate.
Policing is grounding to a halt, and that's not good for our society. The insecurity is becoming so much because police are not up to the task. And police are not up to the task because we've not empowered them to be up to the task.
The Director General of GPHA, Paul Asariansa, on behalf of management, congratulated ASP Agojo for his desire to see a very formidable and modern police force that is capable of facing modern challenges in the course of their work. He further advised that there's the need to enhance capacity of the police and ensure their mandate is jealously protected.
And it must be a wake-up call for all of us to put in whatever contribution, whatever assistance we can provide to make the police institution a capable and efficient institution, capable of delivering on that mandate. So that we'll all be free, we'll all be safe, we'll all feel safe when the police is up and doing.
According to him, GPHA is ready to partner with the police in achieving set goals that will keep everyone safe in their communities. Paul Asariansa said, GPHA has significantly factored the police service in its 2018 Corporate Social Responsibility Package.
So we are ready to listen to you, the areas of the transformation agenda, so that we can come up with an integrated strategic plan based on your goals and your objectives and your strategic approach to achieving those goals.
The General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs of GPHA, Esther J.B. Donko, said the transit trade corridors have series of challenges regarding police harassment on the corridor.
Transitors are telling us that since the customs were removed, the police have rather increased their temporal borders, and then they are taking monies from them. The transit corridor has actually increased in recent times, and is one of the areas that would like to also cooperate with you for our mutual benefits.
She also called for effective collaboration between the police and GPHA to fight the issue of stowaways. The port security manager also assured the police of his outfit's support in protecting lives and properties, particularly at the port.
International news are next. Antwerp and Dakar port authorities plan to collaborate more closely in the next few years as they signed a memorandum of understanding in Senegal on March 2, 2018. As informed, Dakar has set sights on building a new port 50 kilometers away from the present facility, which, with a keel depth of 18 meters, will be able to handle the latest generation of giant container carriers. Together with the new port, Dakar also plans an economic and logistics zone of 600 hectares. The Djibouti Ports and Free Zones Authority is reporting that Djibouti's Dorale Container Terminal Management Company has signed a contract with Singapore-based shipping company Pacific International Lines (PIL), which is set to bolster cargo volume at the terminal by 33 PCT. The port deal is expected to bring an additional 300,000 TEU containers to the terminal per annum. The contract comes on the heels of Djibouti's termination of the concession contract with Dubai-based port and terminal operator DP World for the operation of DCT. The 19 crew members of the Maltese flagged oil products tanker have received wages that were outstanding for 4 months. A spokesperson of the International Transport Workers Federation told World Maritime News that an inspection of the vessel on March 2 by an ITF inspector Martin Bach at the Port State Control and surveyors from the Malta Flag State and the P&I Club led to the immediate payment of outstanding wages. Over $250,000 is believed to have been owed to the crew, manned by Russian and Ukrainian mariners. The transformation of Maersk Group from a conglomerate to an integrated global container logistics company is expected to take between 3 to 5 years. The Danish giant revealed this during its Capital Markets Day held on February 21. 1 year into its new strategy, AP Moller Maersk claims to have already started unlocking value from its integration in the form of improved terminal utilization, improved inland services, optimized hub operations, joint production planning between Maersk Line and Maersk Container Industry, and cross-selling across the brands.
Hello. Good morning. This is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Get it right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window. The only way to Ghana's economic growth is in our hands.
When cleaning your vehicle by valeting, steaming, waxing, or polishing, make sure the engine is also sound. Servicing your vehicle with Gold Synthetic Oil and any quality Gold Oil massages the engine, removes deposit, protects it from wear and tear for longer lasting performance, and makes your vehicle feel pampered. Made for diesel and super engines. Remember, after every 15,000 kilometers of enjoying your ride, service your engine with Gold Synthetic Oil.
We are a champion. That's why I, Azuma Nelson, 3 times world boxing champion and a patriot, always choose Goil.
Ashene Pankasa. Goil, good energy.
And that's it for this week's episode of Iron Port. Thank you for watching the program. Thanks a lot to Joe Bone, Joe Lavo, Godwin Kabute, Solomon Anderson, also Robert Nyantechi, my man Martin Minta, the executive producers of this program, Abena Sewa Opokufosu and Esther Jebidonko, as well as my colleagues Flavia Amuesi and Grace Atre Akon. Thanks for watching.